My God. Oh my God. People, much like Monday, I have another headache. This was the regular show dumped at the altar episode, the new episode we just got. Of course, I am DJ Cass, and I am back with my regular show review of again dumped at the altar. Now, before we get into all the shocks, the twists and turns, and everything that went on, let me just say this: I just lost a bet. I just lost a bet, so I am a little on the hesitant side. Yeah, and let's go and get into this episode. We kicked off the episode with Mordecai and Rigby. They're just hanging out, kicking back, drinking sodas on the little beanbags, I guess, on the porch. And of course, ringtone, pick up the phone. Ringtone. It turns out CJ is calling Mordecai, and Mordecai really has no idea what to do in terms of like what we got from the not great double date episode, like what just happened. And honestly, who could blame the guy? I mean, he's just so many twists and turns, honestly, throughout this whole thing. And then it seems like everything is still awkward between CJ and Mordecai. And as all is well and good, as the that was actually an awkward conversation, so I'm not going to even get into that. And as they start talking again, it turns out tonight was Muscle Man's wedding, people. And everybody all gathers up, Benson gathers the troops, and they're like, okay, guys, this is how we're going to pull off Muscle Man's wedding. And that ice sculpture, I got to give Skips a lot of props for having that backup sculpture, because he knew that Muscle Man couldn't handle all those muscles. He just like chopped that thing like crazy. Once I saw the second one, I'm like, get him away. So yeah, as everything is all well and good, like they get to that little plaza that they set up in some of the previous episodes, and everybody remember just set up the chairs because that's what we got. It was exactly like it. That was the way the scene went. Just set up the chairs, and that's their Mordecai and Ruby are setting up the chairs. Ring tone, pick up the phone. Margaret calls, and then I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know why Margaret would like bring that up just right before the wedding. To me, that didn't make much sense. I mean, that seems like something that should have waited after like the wedding, but we'll get there. Why we got okay, as they set up the chairs, everybody's all there, getting ready for the wedding. Next thing you know, um, have you ever been awkward at a wedding where you see someone that you love who you're supposed to be escorting like down the aisle? That's the feeling that I got, and we got another call from Benson. Like Mordecai's phone just went off every single time in this episode. It was hilarious. And then like Fives calls, well actually Fives and Benson calls, I guess, and then it turns out Muscle Man he cannot go through the wedding unless he hears something from his father, because we all know Muscle Man's father unfortunately passed away in one of the previous episodes. Which I actually really like that Muscle Man he just would not go through with the wedding if he didn't hear that from his own dad, and that to me was just that got me. That was emotional. That was just great stuff there. And as Mordecai and Ruby are looking for the letter, we got the shock of all shocks. We were all wondering, like, why wasn't Eileen and Rigby doing anything when they couldn't hang out? And it turns out they are dating people. They are dating. That was like, I literally threw my hat and I'm like, oh my God, I just lost the bet. Because I honestly did not think Rigby would get with Eileen because they just kept teasing it. They just kept teasing. I'm like, when are we going to get the payoff? But we finally got the payoff. And Rigby actually said some really good advice. I mean, I think this is like the best advice he has given to anybody throughout this whole show. And that just shows what a true friend he is, because of course he's Mordecai's best friend, we all know, but for him to just be there throughout all this, that's what a best friend does. But yeah, they find the letter, and then Mordecai, I don't know why he did this, but I guess it was in the heat of the moment. We all know. The speech from Muscle Dad was great. I love that too. I don't know why Mordecai would like. It's the thing. Like he said, he's not good at this stuff, so he just was, I guess, seizing the moment, so to speak. And then CJ, good God Almighty, like again, like here's the thing. I like CJ. I like her character. I like the Mordecai CJ, but CJ she just gets agitated way too easily, and then she just leaves. But she kind of has a point when Mordecai was talking. You didn't even look in her direction first. The fact that you looked in Margaret's face first before CJ, that should tell you something right there. And then, yeah, he got dumped at the altar, right? And I'm like, yeah, let's just get this wedding over with. Like, can we just marry these two and just like stop this whole thing? Because the episode honestly wasn't even about Muscle Man and that Starla like I thought it was gonna be. It mainly focused around Mordecai and CJ and Margaret. And as the episode ends, of course, again, people, we don't know what to do. CJ and Mordecai are apparently taking a break, which means we will probably see this somehow next season. And they just went into the plaza and just had a good time, had fried food, and that was dumped at the altar. My overall thoughts on this episode, like I said, like much like with the not great double date, it definitely accomplished a lot. It did leave us with more questions than answers, but if we can continue this, I am completely fine with it. Like, let me see how this is gonna play out. Now, I don't like the fact on how like the focus was just about all of this and not like Muscle Man and Starla. I would have liked to see that incorporated more. But for what we got, I absolutely love every single thing about it, especially the whole Rigby Eileen situation. We will get there when we get there. But yeah, this episode was great. Loved every single thing about it. No complaints. Not much complaints on my side. As far as I'm concerned, I am DJ Kaz, and that was my regular show review. See you around.